Now, I would like to welcome our two guests, Beth Bagwell from ITGA and Dr. Dan Bergen from Marquette University, to talk about the International Town and Gown Association and the upcoming virtual conference. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. And Beth and Dan, it's good to see you.
It's great to be here, Lindsay. Thank you.
This is a true honor, so I'm so happy to be with this group.
Well, Beth, we are so honored to have you join us. And I think I'd like to start with you. Can you tell us a little bit about the International Town and Gown Association and what it does?
Sure. The International Town and Gown Association is a nonprofit that provides resources, networking, and professional development opportunities to college and universities, which we refer to as gown, and municipalities, town, globally. A sample of our resources include our College Town Resource Center that focuses on best practices and strategies for challenges and opportunities often encountered in college towns. And we recently launched our webinar series that includes our Courageous Conversations, launched at the 2020 conference just days after the police killing of Black father and artist George Floyd, and now is a key part of the ITGA Equity and Inclusion Initiative. We just started our Town Gown Turnaround series, which focuses on strengthening partnerships between town and university stakeholders, and addresses the challenges and opportunities we are facing in 2021 and beyond. Our launch included Keith Stanley, Executive Director of Near West Side Partners, to discuss strategies that have been used to support the hashtag Made in the Near West Side bid. And as you can imagine, he was very popular. And then we partnered with Leon Andrews, Director of National League of Cities Race Equity and Leadership, to offer a one-day training for our members and friends of ITGA. Some of our members offer regional conferences annually, and of course, we're here to discuss our annual ITGA City and University Relations Conference, which is May the 24th through the 26th.
Yes, that is very exciting. I'm hoping that Beth and Dan, you can tell us a little bit about what the virtual conference will entail, what will be covered, and what we can expect the format to be like.
You want to start off, Beth, or do you?
Well, one of the things we're working with, I have the privilege of working with the Conference Planning Committee to bring the diverse and vibrant city to our attendees in creative ways. And the tracks in planning reflect that. And I thought Dan might want to elaborate on some of the wonderful things that you all are thinking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in thinking about this conference, first and foremost, want to acknowledge and thank Lindsay and the Near West Side Partners for hosting us for this conversation, but also serving as a partner in planning for this particular conference, as well as Visit Milwaukee. And they've been a strong partner with us as well. And ITGA, Beth, it's been wonderful to work with you. So yeah, this year's conference obviously is going to bring some different and unique elements, given the fact that we are hosting in partnership during the pandemic. So it will be fully virtual, May 24th through the 26th. But it's really an opportunity, as we've explored this relationship, to showcase the outstanding efforts and initiatives that are happening in town and gown relations across the country and around the globe. And one of the real values of this virtual space is that we can attract, hopefully, individuals from around the world to join us for this conference. So we, as Beth mentioned, we are very interested in the spaces of university government relations, off-campus and neighborhood relations, efforts around diversity and inclusion, and the ways in which cities and universities and communities are partnering to advance those. And of course, we can't ignore the impacts of COVID-19 and how that's really hit our communities. So those are some of the sort of high-level themes.
And can you tell us a little bit about the kinds of proposals Marquette and ITGA are looking for the conference and how organizations and the community could get involved?
Yeah, so I can start off. I've had the opportunity in the past to attend ITGA several times and present, and I can tell you that it's really spans quite a breadth and depth of topics, and so starting from a position of saying we're advancing work in partnership with a local university here in Milwaukee or in another city. Starting from that place as a community organization is one good place to start, and then kind of digging down into these ideas that I mentioned earlier, right? The neighborhood and government relations, the off-campus student housing and living, the anchor initiatives that various organizations around the country are leading, campus safety and security, and the ways that our universities are partnering with local law enforcement. I think it's important, and I want to state again, now more than ever, campuses are critical to the communities, and of course, communities are critical to our campuses. And so we really want to elevate that work and those partnerships in a meaningful way.
That's exactly right. I will have to say that Marquette and the city of Milwaukee have really stepped up to the plate, because we had anticipated doing an in-person conference. So we transitioned quickly, but the creative tracks are really built upon the strengths that Milwaukee and Marquette has together, and then that are also broad enough to be inclusive to anybody who wants to submit a proposal. So we're really looking forward to receiving these proposals. The call for proposal is open until February the 19th. And so we invite anyone who has questions. They can reach out to me at beth@itga.org, or they can reach out to Dan or Dr. Bergen, and we'll be more than happy to help do to answer any questions you may have.
Yeah. And Beth, building on that, I'll just quickly say that the themes for this year's conference really focus on music. And so, as many of perhaps our near West Side residents are aware or not, right? We know the Bodines, the Violent Femmes, Steve Miller, Les Paul. These are musicians all from the Milwaukee area. And I did not know this, but found out in this process that Liberace was in fact from Milwaukee. So I learned something new in that process. And I think our hope is to really infuse that theme of the vibrancy of Milwaukee, the community, and its lifeblood and music, right? And helping our attendees understand that is really, really critical to who we are.
That's great. I know it's a new platform and a new world going virtual, but I'm wondering if either of you can talk a little bit about the virtual experience for a conference. Obviously, there will be some breakout rooms. Will there be an opportunity to connect or network like there is at a traditional conference?
Absolutely. The opportunity to connect one-on-one or with groups and with our sponsors is critical for this process. And so we have been vetting systems, looking at different ones, and have decided which direction we're going in based on the fact that networking component is in there. And our members constantly remind us that one of the most important things that we offer our members is an opportunity to network in different venues. So it's extremely important.
Yeah, just to echo exactly what Beth said, I mean, they have been doing a great job reviewing different virtual platforms, and I think there's some really, really exciting and innovative ways that companies are creating for the virtual landscape. So, hats off, Beth. Thanks.
Well, again, we're very excited to work with you. You've all been extremely creative in your approach. We love the music theme. Our board was very excited when we saw the tracks and the music in the the song that goes with each one of the tracks. If our audience who are listening in have not had a chance to see this, it's really worth going to the call for proposal page on the website just to listen to the songs that go with each one of these. And, music is such an important part of our life. I think we're trying to find ways to lift our spirits during this time. And so we could not have a better host that we have this year. This is a very unique experience, and we are so excited to be working with Marquette and Milwaukee. This has just been an absolute, and Near West Side Partners and all of the other stakeholders within this group. It's been really wonderful.
Great.
Visit Milwaukee. Thank you.
So I do have a slide that I'll share in just a few moments, and we'll open it up for questions. But before I do, is there anything that I have not asked or anything that we haven't covered that either of you would like to share?
The one thing that I would reiterate over and over again is that it has been a joy to work with this committee. This is the first. Last year we were going to go to the city of Boulder and CU Boulder, and that was when we had to pivot very quickly, and we had about 6 weeks to actually determine our platform and then transfer and pivot, which is a word for COVID, this COVID period. We had to pivot. This year, we had a host that has been working with us the whole time, so we can really offer a premium conference experience that's virtual. So we're extremely excited. I don't think we could have had a better host to work with this year. So we just are so appreciative of the resiliency that everyone has shown and the can-do attitude as we bring this to fruition. It's very exciting.
Yeah, and Beth, just to comment on that and maybe talking a little bit about the benefits of membership with ITGA for cities and universities. But I can tell you, as someone who has been closely working with this organization for the past 5 years in my role in community engagement, to have a national or an international organization like ITGA really focused on supporting the cultivation of partnerships between universities and their cities. And those cities include both government, the community organizations, nonprofits, has been incredible. It's been such a value add to the work that I do in terms of the network that I have and the contacts. And so I just want to say thank you, Beth, for your leadership in this space, because it's so important, perhaps now more than ever.
Well, I really appreciate that comment. Our mission is to strengthen relationships between campuses and communities. And one way we do this is to have the stakeholders from both groups come together and learn as a team on ways that strategies that can be implemented in a collaborative way. Our joint organizational town and gown rate allows for this. And this approach has also, as you were talking about, Dan, allowed our members to learn about Near West Side Partners and the great work that you're doing in your community, because we have had several different presentations on that. And that's one reason we wanted you all to host this conference, because of the great work that you've accomplished through your partnerships, which to me is just phenomenal. I went to South Africa to work with a team of people there. I went with a team to work with a team there. And one of the things that I wanted before I left was that glossy brochure of Near West Side Partners that Ronna sent me so that I could share it with them, of the great work that can happen when you have the vision for it and we have the different stakeholders in place. So I've been a champion for your work for quite some time.
Thanks, Beth.
You're welcome.
That's great. Unfortunately, we are not live on Facebook at the moment, but I know we are going to share this video. And when we do, we want to make sure that anybody who has any questions knows where to email them or to learn more. So we do have Dr. Dan's email here, danbergen@marquette.edu. You can also visit itga.org/conference2021. And Beth, do we recommend that people reach out to you directly with any questions they might have?
Sure. Beth@itga.org.